A cloaked figure kneels before a desolate orphanage, ready to make a difficult choice. A tiny hand reaches out, a silent plea as a child is separated from their guardian. The mysterious figure reveals a nervous expression before turning away for good. Left in a simple box, the infant, now named Fang Linyan, is abandoned to the night. 19 years later, the scene shifts to a modern city drenched in a cold autumn rain. Inside a local bakery, a person asks for a medical opinion on a friend's troubling checkup. The medical report in question belongs to Fang Linyan, showing a dangerous shadow on his lungs. Unaware of the patient's identity, a friend calls Fang Linyan himself for his medical expertise. The devastating truth hits him as he realizes he's just diagnosed his own untreatable late-stage cancer. He walks through a faceless crowd, the advice to enjoy his final days ringing hollow in his ears. The words of his own diagnosis echo back, confirming his worst fears. Panicked, he hastily ends the call, unable to bear another second. Alone in his room, the weight of his fate crushes him into silence. He questions the universe's cruelty, finding it impossible to accept his sentence at only 19. The raw, desperate will to live bursts out as tears stream down his face. He recounts a life of loss and hardship, now capped by this final cruel twist. His despair hardens into pure rage, cursing the wretched life he's been given. A violent coughing fit suddenly racks his body, a brutal reminder of his condition. He gasps for air, the physical toll of his illness making itself painfully known. But as his hand falls on a simple snack, a spark of defiance ignites. He's not done fighting yet. He channels a fierce wolf-like spirit, vowing to defy fate no matter the cost. Tearing into the snack, he fuels his newfound and desperate resolve. If conventional methods fail, he'll turn to the supernatural events he's seen on the news. Just then, a notification confirms a transfer of 2,500 yen from the repair shop. He looks at the phone with a grim smile, knowing this is his last paycheck. His body suddenly betrays him as a violent cough forces blood from his mouth. He stares at the crimson pool in his hand, a stark reminder of his condition. Despite the grim evidence, his determined expression remains unbroken. Wiping away the blood, his resolve only hardens in the face of death. With his mind set, he heads out to a convenience store, ready to start his new plan. In the convenience store restroom, he catches a glimpse of his blood-stained reflection. He realizes with grim humor that his body is deteriorating faster than he ever imagined. Suddenly, a chilling message echoes in the void, a promise of being found. A wave of confusion and dread washes over him as he senses an unseen presence. He stares into the mirror, only to see his reflection staring back with a blank, featureless face. Panic sets in as he confirms the impossible. His face has vanished from the glass. The void on his reflection's face begins to swirl into a dark, hypnotic vortex. This dark energy expands, warping and consuming his mirrored image entirely. A spectral red hand bursts from the distorted reflection, reaching out to grab him. He recoils in terror as the crimson tendrils violently seize him by the throat. A monstrous, shadowy entity erupts from the mirror, its tendrils tightening around his throat. He gasps for air, his breath stolen by the supernatural force. His vision fills with a terrifying vortex, a single malevolent red eye staring back from the abyss. As darkness creeps into his vision, tears of despair stream from his eyes. A final, pained grunt escapes him as the pressure becomes unbearable. Just as suddenly, the assault ends and he collapses against the sink. He scrambles back, panting in sheer terror, the world snapping back into focus. Staring at his now normal reflection, he questions the reality of the attack. He tries to dismiss it as a hallucination, a symptom of his rapidly advancing illness. Convinced his mind is failing, he grabs his things, deciding it's time to go home and face the end. Stepping out of the restroom, he finds it odd that the supermarket is already closing up. A glance at the clock reveals a startling truth. It's 9:42 p.m., far later than he thought. He recoils in disbelief, unable to comprehend how he could have lost an entire hour and a half. He dismisses the lost time, convinced someone would have noticed if he'd been gone that long. Deciding the whole ordeal is too bizarre, he resolves to head home immediately after paying. But as he steps toward the exit, a piercing anti-theft alarm suddenly goes off. A security guard and an angry cashier immediately move to block his path. The guard confronts him, demanding he hand over the stolen goods. The cashier points an accusatory finger, furiously branding him a thief. Completely baffled, he stammers, trying to process the sudden and baseless accusation. He's frozen in shock, the false accusation hitting him harder than his illness. Another violent cough racks his body, but the guard just scoffs, thinking it's an act. The cashier shrieks, rallying the store against him, determined to make an example of this thief. The guard grabs him by the collar, threatening to get physical if he doesn't cooperate. Not content to watch, the cashier moves in, ready to deliver her own brand of justice. Her face contorts with rage as she swings, aiming to punish the boy she's already condemned. But before her hand can land, a massive truck shatters the store's glass front, interrupting the scene. The force of the crash sends the cashier flying backward, her attack completely forgotten. Stunned, Fang Linyan watches the unbelievable chaos unfold through a spray of crimson. The entire front of the store is obliterated as the out-of-control vehicle plows through everything in its path. The store is a cloud of dust and debris as the truck's destructive rampage finally halts. The vehicle's immense momentum sends a smaller car flying, adding to the widespread chaos. Amidst the wreckage, panicked cries for help echo through the ruined storefront. The security guard snaps out of his shock, urging everyone to call for emergency services. Bystanders rush into the danger zone, desperate to aid anyone trapped in the rubble. He spots Fang Linyan frozen in place and furiously orders him to join the rescue. A group gathers, attempting to lift a massive beam, crushing someone beneath it. Fang Linyan joins the effort, his body straining under the immense weight. The intense physical exertion causes blood to seep from his mouth, a grim sign of his condition. He quickly covers his face, trying to hide the violent, bloody cough that erupts from the strain. A bystander asks if he's all right, concerned by his violent coughing fit. He reassures the man, silently acknowledging the grim reality of his terminal illness. The concerned rescuer advises him to go home, but Fang Linyan can only apologize, feeling useless. He walks away from the scene, convinced his time is now measured in hours, not days. As he leaves, the sounds of the ongoing rescue effort fade into the distance. Back in the solitude of his room, he collapses onto his bed, utterly spent. Staring at the ceiling, he tries to process the overwhelming chaos of the day. He mentally lists the day's bizarre events. His diagnosis, the mirror hallucination, the crash, and the strange alarm. The night sky offers no answers as he lies there, trapped in a web of confusion and misfortune. A horrifying realization strikes him. If not for the false alarm, he would have been standing right in the truck's path. He dismisses a simple machine malfunction, convinced there must be a more logical explanation. He meticulously checks his receipt against his groceries, confirming every single item was paid for. Unable to find a rational cause, he tries to write the whole thing off as a bizarre false alarm. But a nagging feeling prompts him to frantically search himself for anything out of the ordinary. His hand freezes as he feels a hard, unfamiliar object hidden deep within his pocket. He slowly pulls out the strange item, his confusion deepening with every second. To his astonishment, he's holding an old, outdated flip phone that definitely doesn't belong to him. He racks his brain, completely unable to explain how the strange device ended up in his possession. He finally realizes this mysterious phone must have been the culprit that set off the store's alarm. His eyes lock onto the screen, noticing a single, unread message waiting for him. The screen displays 2 unread messages from an unknown sender, offering him a choice. As he hesitates, the phone suddenly vibrates, urging him to open the message. The message reveals a shocking truth. His original fate was to die in the truck crash tonight. The mysterious sender taunts him, acknowledging his questions but cruelly reminding him of his helpless wait for death. The words on the screen twist the knife, describing the agony of watching his own life slip away. Then, a single life-altering question appears, offering a sliver of hope. He stares at the phone, the weight of this impossible choice settling upon him. His despair instantly transforms into a fierce, desperate resolve to live. The phone provides a set of precise instructions, a time, a place, and a warning that this is his one and only chance. The scene shifts to an internet cafe, where a friend notes the late hour and suggests they stay up all night. He begins researching the location from the mysterious text, his body still racked by coughs. His search immediately hits a wall, as satellite maps can't even display the area. He finds only a few close-up images, confirming the wharf is strangely off the grid. Further digging reveals the wharf has been abandoned for years and is located far from the city. He learns the final 2 kilometers to the wharf are only accessible via a simple dirt path. He meticulously calculates his travel time, factoring in his failing health for the final walk to the wharf. He runs through his checklist, a serviced scooter, charged phone, and packed medication, leaving nothing to chance. With his preparations complete, he sees his friend off, knowing all that's left is to depart at the exact time. Alone in the now empty cafe, he wonders about the strange events awaiting him and the reason for the precise timing. He grips the strange phone, a desperate hope flickering within him that this could truly change his fate. He carefully prepares his medication, knowing he can't afford any delays on this crucial night. He reminds himself that his failing body can't be an excuse when his life is on the line. With his resolve hardened, he stands up, ready to embark on his desperate journey. He quickly heads downstairs, his mind focused on the tight schedule he must follow. But as he reaches the bottom of the stairs, 2 menacing figures are waiting for him. His carefully laid plans come to a screeching halt as the men block his path to the scooter. One of the thugs steps forward, aggressively questioning where he thinks he's going. The situation escalates as one man brandishes a knife, demanding he hand over all his valuables. He seethes with frustration, cursing his luck that this would happen on the most important night of his life. The thug grows impatient, shouting at him to comply as Fang Linyan clenches his jaw in defiance. Realizing time is critical, he tries to bargain, offering his valuables in exchange for the scooter. But the greedy thug scoffs at the offer, furiously declaring he wants everything. In a calculated move, Fang Linyan tosses his phone and money toward the second man. The accomplice plays along, pretending to be too scared to catch the thrown items. With the thugs distracted, Fang Linyan seizes the moment, delivering a stunning blow to the first man's head. The thug cries out in agony, completely caught off guard by the sudden resistance. His partner can only watch in shock, stunned by the unexpected turn of events. Fang Linyan's face twists with rage, his desperation now fueling a dangerous new resolve. The enraged thug retaliates, swinging his weapon and drawing blood from Fang Linyan's arm. The initial shock in his eyes quickly hardens into a cold, steely determination. The accomplice panics, urging his partner to retreat after witnessing Fang Linyan's unexpected ferocity. His vision fades to black as a distant voice calls out to him from the darkness. He slowly regains consciousness, his blurry vision focusing on a strange man trying to wake him. The man seems relieved as Fang Linyan finally comes to, the surroundings now clearly an unfamiliar wharf. Still dazed, he's helped up by the stranger, who asks if he's all right after the ordeal. The man explains that someone found him collapsed outside and brought him to this spot. Fang Linyan clutches his head, trying to piece together the fragmented memories of the fight. A sudden, horrifying thought flashes through his mind as he remembers his critical appointment. He grabs the man in a panic, desperately demanding to know the current time. The answer sends a wave of despair through him. He's missed his one and only chance. He curses his luck, realizing his carefully laid plans have completely unraveled. He forces himself to stay calm, accepting the harsh reality that he's now too late. He knows that even if he switched to a faster vehicle, the lost time is impossible to recover. With his initial plan in tatters, his expression hardens with a grim new resolve. But a flicker of hope remains, and he decides to give it everything he has, just in case. He finally arrives at the desolate Huichuan wharf, the silence of the night greeting him. Exhausted, he leans against a wall, catching his breath as he scans the dark surroundings. Deciding he needs a better view, he begins climbing a nearby structure to survey the area. His failing body betrays him as another violent coughing fit racks his frame. Suddenly, he hears the sound of a car, realizing with a jolt that someone else has arrived. From his high vantage point, he surveys a grim scene below, littered with cars and fallen figures. The sight of the carnage sends a wave of shock through him, realizing he's stumbled upon a massacre. He pushes down his fear, his mind zeroing in on a single crucial objective, finding the silver box. Pulling out a small monocular, he begins to meticulously scan the chaotic scene below. His search reveals grim details of the aftermath, but the object he seeks is nowhere to be found. He pans across the area, examining a large truck and the surrounding debris, but still finds nothing. A bead of sweat rolls down his face as he forces himself to remain calm under the immense pressure. He narrows his focus, his eye glued to the lens, desperately searching for any sign of his target. Suddenly, his eye widens in recognition as he finally spots what he's been looking for. Lying amidst the grim scene is the silver briefcase from the text, resting near a fallen victim. With his target in sight, he knows he has to move fast, his breath catching in his chest. He calculates the distance, realizing the briefcase is just 20 meters from the warehouse door. He steels himself to move through the grim scene, determined to retrieve the case before anyone else arrives. But his eyes widen in alarm as he spots something unexpected on the horizon. A boat with a bright searchlight approaches the wharf, signaling he's no longer alone. He halts his advance, acknowledging his weakened body won't allow for a quick escape. Changing tactics, he decides to hide in a nearby utility closet and wait for a better opportunity. But as he opens the door, he's met with a shocking sight that stops him in his tracks. Inside, a woman lies motionless on the floor, the aftermath of a violent encounter staining the ground. His eyes fall on the small weapon that ended her life, a chilling detail in the already grim scene. He cautiously checks the woman for any signs of life, his hands trembling slightly. A wave of relief washes over him as he confirms she's already gone, sparing him a difficult explanation. His attention snaps to the sudden silence outside as the approaching boat's engine cuts out. Peeking from his hiding spot, he wonders who else has arrived at this desolate scene. A new boat pulls up to the dock, its searchlight cutting through the darkness. Two imposing figures step onto the wharf, one noting they've arrived too late. His partner, a man with a cruel smirk, seems unbothered, stating that their target already succeeded. The smirking man casually dismisses the entire bloody affair as a mere side quest. He reaffirms their true objective, emphasizing that their main mission is all that matters. Hidden in the shadows, Fang Linyan listens intently, his mind racing to understand the new players in this deadly game. The smirking man strolls through the grim aftermath, spotting the silver briefcase and calling it a lucky find. He smugly confirms they've secured the mission item, pleased to have arrived before Fang Linyan. His partner opens the case, revealing a rare reverse transcription vector injection, a highly sought-after prize. The smirking man explains this injection is their key to a high-value target, granting them access to a secret location. From his hiding spot, Fang Linyan overhears the name and realizes this must be the miraculous item from the mysterious text. His mind races as he recalls the science behind it, a revolutionary gene therapy that can suppress cancer at its source. The shock gives way to fierce determination. He can't believe such a cure exists, and now he knows he must have it. But their celebration is cut short as a new, imposing figure appears, calmly telling them not to touch his belongings. He casually explains he was just finishing up with an escaped target, his back turned to the two stunned men. He then reveals a grim trophy from his hunt, making it clear that he has no intention of giving up his spoils. The two men are stunned into silence, recognizing the formidable newcomer they call Fang. The smirking man quickly tries to de-escalate, insisting he's not an enemy and was only investigating a lead. He proposes a truce, offering to return the valuable injection in exchange for their safe departure. The newcomer remains unfazed as the smirking man's partner draws a weapon, aiming it directly at him. A confident smile spreads across the newcomer's face as he cryptically agrees with the proposed deal. From his hiding spot, Fang Linyan's hope plummets, realizing a peaceful resolution between them leaves him no opportunity. The grim reality sets in. Failing to secure the briefcase means succumbing to his terminal illness. The smirking man cheerfully suggests they should get a drink together, proposing a meeting for the following night. The powerful newcomer calmly accepts the invitation, sealing their unexpected alliance. With the deal struck, the smirking man and his partner turn to leave, taking the life-saving briefcase with them. The powerful newcomer confidently seals their agreement with a simple gesture. The smirking man and his partner breathe a sigh of relief, believing the danger has passed. But the newcomer's expression hardens, his friendly demeanor vanishing in an instant. Without warning, he throws a small, glowing device, shattering their fragile truce. The smirking man is thrown to the ground, blinded by the unexpected flash and cursing the dishonorable tactic. In a swift counter, he hurls a large, star-emblazoned shield toward his opponent. The shield cuts through the air, a deadly projectile aimed directly at the newcomer. A wide, excited grin spreads across the newcomer's face, clearly enjoying the sudden turn of events. He calmly raises a single hand, ready to intercept the high-speed attack. With shocking ease, he catches the massive shield, effortlessly halting its momentum. The newcomer's grip tightens, bending the powerful shield with his bare hand. The smirking man cries out, his features contorting as monstrous fangs erupt from his mouth. He undergoes a full transformation, revealing his true brutish orc form. The newcomer remains unimpressed, dismissing the display of power as a foolish move. With blinding speed, he unleashes a devastating strike against his transformed opponent. The sheer force of the blow sends the massive orc stumbling backward. The orc reels from the impact, a clear sign of the heavy damage he sustained. The bent shield is knocked from his grasp, sent flying through the air with incredible force. It soars across the wharf, a discarded weapon in the escalating conflict. The newcomer examines the cracked shield, noting the cost of the block before calling for his partner to act. The partner reveals a glowing, high-tech pistol, ready to join the fray. He unleashes a powerful blast, the recoil showing the weapon's immense force. The shot's impact sends a nearby armored vehicle tumbling through the air like a toy. It crashes to the ground, a smoking wreck from the single devastating shot. The orc roars for his partner to finish the job, but his ally is temporarily blinded by the flash. Undeterred, the partner leaps forward with a crazed expression, determined to take down the newcomer. The newcomer counters with a precise shot of his own, intercepting the attack mid-air. The newcomer's expression tightens, showing a hint of strain as the fight intensifies. A blinding flash of light engulfs the area, leaving only the newcomer's silhouette standing tall. The partner is thrown back by the blast, but manages to keep a desperate grip on the silver briefcase. The partner is sent flying from the blast, losing his grip on the precious briefcase. The orc roars his partner's name, his face a mask of fury and concern. He redirects his rage, telling the newcomer to focus on his own survival. The newcomer calmly raises the bent shield, preparing to turn his opponent's weapon against him. He meets the orc's charge with a powerful shield bash, the impact echoing across the wharf. Hidden away, Fang Linyan questions everything, realizing his world is far from ordinary. The battle rages on at the desolate Huchuan Wharf, a secret stage for a hidden war. He watches through a window as the newcomer sends the massive orc flying with another powerful blow. A new resolve hardens his features. Their power is not a threat, but proof that a cure is possible. The newcomer delivers a crushing blow with the shield, striking the orc's arm with brutal precision. The newcomer relentlessly bashes the orc, who roars in frustration from the heavy blow. He suddenly shouts a set of coordinates, directing an unseen ally to a specific location. The orc's eyes narrow, realizing the coordinates are a signal for a coordinated attack. His partner is suddenly blasted into the air, caught completely off guard by the unseen attack. The newcomer is stunned, shocked that his opponent can still mount a counteroffensive. Despite the blast, the partner hurtles through the air, turning his momentum into a desperate attack. Meanwhile, the orc recovers, his expression hardening as he prepares to re-engage in the fight. He roars with fury, charging forward to deliver a finishing blow while his opponent is distracted. But the orc can only watch in horror as his partner is intercepted and struck down mid-air. Fueled by rage over his partner's fall, the orc redirects his attack toward the newcomer. The orc's partner is sent crashing into a nearby container, the impact echoing across the wharf. Bloodied but defiant, the orc promises the newcomer that his turn for punishment is coming next. The newcomer retaliates with a brutal swing of the bent shield, landing another solid hit. From the shadows, Fang Linyan realizes the powerful newcomer clearly has the advantage in this fight. The wounded orc grits his teeth, suspecting his opponent has an ability that makes him stronger with every injury. Fang Linyan deduces that the duo's only chance is a war of attrition, but sees one of them already trying to retreat. The enraged orc roars in defiance, refusing to let his opponent escape and lunging forward to continue the fight. The newcomer effortlessly pivots, using the shield to intercept the orc's desperate charge. The shield holds firm against the powerful blow, demonstrating the newcomer's unyielding defense. Thrown off balance, the orc is stunned by the sheer power difference, realizing they are not on the same level. The newcomer lands a heavy blow, sending the orc reeling in pain. The orc stumbles back, his arm taking the brunt of the devastating impact. Realizing he's completely outmatched, the orc makes a desperate dash for the edge of the wharf. He plunges into the dark water, choosing a tactical retreat over certain defeat. The newcomer watches him flee, acknowledging the orc has wisely decided to retreat. The orc swims with all his might, knowing he can't survive a direct fight with the newcomer. He and his partner cut through the water, leaving two trails as they flee the chaotic scene. Hidden away, Fang Linyan is stunned by their incredible speed, questioning if they're even human. Even the powerful newcomer is impressed, shocked by their surprising agility in the water. Unwilling to let them escape, he launches himself onto a nearby boat, ready to give chase. The newcomer watches as one of his targets leaps from the water, ready for a final confrontation. The orc's face twists with rage, taunting his opponent that there's nowhere left to run. He lunges at the fallen newcomer, declaring an end to their cat-and-mouse game. His hand transforms, revealing a set of deadly razor-sharp claws. With a savage cry, the orc lands a devastating blow, impaling the newcomer from behind. The newcomer lets out a pained grunt, the impact of the attack clearly taking its toll. The victorious orc coldly informs his victim that his time is up. He withdraws his hand, but something unexpected comes with it. Instead of just blood, a mysterious ornate red key materializes from the wound. From the shadows, Fang Linyan is stunned, questioning if this is what happens when these powerful beings fall. Fang Linyan watches the lopsided battle, realizing the duo is completely outmatched by the newcomer. A grim thought crosses his mind. Once the newcomer is done, he'll likely eliminate any remaining witnesses. The wounded orc recovers on a nearby container, preparing for his next move. The newcomer smirks, amused by his opponent's desperate attempt to flee into the water. But the orc swims with fierce determination, vowing that no one has ever escaped his grasp. The newcomer's expression hardens, refusing to be underestimated by his fleeing foe. He unleashes a special technique, firing a shot with a seemingly impossible trajectory. The projectile curves through the air, expertly navigating around an obstacle to find its mark. The orc is caught completely off guard as the shot lands with pinpoint accuracy. He whips his head around, his face a mask of shock and fury from the unexpected attack. A shadowy blast rips through the side of a building, a result of the partner's hidden trap. The partner clutches a detonator, his face twisted in fury as he unleashes his final gambit. The newcomer is thrown off balance, a trail of red marking the path of his injury. The entire area is engulfed in a massive fiery explosion. The partner decides to secure a better position, wary of any more surprises from his opponent. But the newcomer seems completely unfazed, a flicker of surprise in his eyes. He watches the inferno with cold calculation, his focus unbroken by the flames. The fire rages on, consuming the wharf in a violent display of power. Emerging from the blaze, the orc roars, his patience finally worn thin by the resilient foe. His partner can only stare in disbelief, questioning what kind of monster could survive such an onslaught. The orc smirks, convinced his opponent's luck has finally run out. He begins a complex hand sign, preparing to unleash a devastating secret art. Mystical energy swirls around him as he channels power for a final decisive blow. Ancient symbols glow on his fist, concentrating the immense power he's gathered. His partner watches in horror, realizing the orc is about to use a forbidden technique. But before he can act, a severed finger drops to the ground, a sign of an attack from nowhere. The newcomer is suddenly struck from behind, a look of shock on his partner's face. He collapses to the ground, the unexpected blow leaving him completely incapacitated. A shadowy essence rises from his fallen body, signaling his defeat in this strange world. His form begins to dematerialize into glowing particles, his time in the battle officially over. The victorious orc examines his new key, acknowledging the heavy toll the battle took on his body. He quickly consumes a vial of red liquid, a desperate attempt to recover from his wounds. His head whips around, his gaze locking onto the very building where Fang Linyan is hiding. Fang Linyan freezes in terror, convinced he's been discovered and that any sound will be his last. Just then, a faint groan comes from the woman on the floor who begins to stir. He stares in disbelief, realizing with a jolt that the woman he thought was dead is actually alive. His eyes fall on a discarded syringe, recognizing it as a powerful first aid injector. He understands she was only unconscious, and her waking up now would be a death sentence for them both. The terrifying reality hits him. If she makes a sound, the monster outside will surely find them. With no other choice, he lunges toward the stirring woman, determined to keep her silent. He quickly smothers her mouth, his own survival depending on her silence. He desperately holds her, his panicked eyes pleading for her to stay quiet. But the faint struggle is enough to alert the orc, whose head snaps in their direction. He realizes their hiding spot is compromised, knowing discovery is only moments away. His expression fills with apology, knowing what he must do next is unforgivable but necessary. With a heavy heart, he takes decisive action, and the woman's struggles cease. The orc's gaze sharpens, a predatory glint in his eyes as he confirms the presence of a hidden witness. The vial's effects take hold, and the orc stands fully restored, his power returned. His eyes gleam with malice as he decides it's time to hunt down the hidden survivor. Holding the now limp woman, Fang Linyan stares at the door, his heart pounding in his chest. He freezes in terror, wondering if the orc has pinpointed his hiding spot. The orc glances at his own hand, a grim reminder of the battle's heavy cost. Deciding the night's work is done, the orc turns to leave with his spoils. He disappears into the shadows of the wharf, leaving the scene of chaos behind. Believing the danger has passed, Fang Linyan finally lets out a breath of relief. He looks down at the woman, silently apologizing for the grim choice he had to make. He steps out into the grim aftermath, realizing the life-saving briefcase is long gone. With his primary goal lost, he shifts focus to gathering evidence from the scene. He begins collecting scattered files, hoping to find a clue about what happened here. His new mission is simple: find anything that can explain this hidden war. He clutches the files, speeding away from the wharf on his scooter. He believes that understanding what happened is his only remaining chance for survival. The next day, he walks wearily through a quiet alley, his mission clear in his mind. As he climbs a set of stairs, another coughing fit forces him to stop. He stares grimly at the bloodstain on his handkerchief, a stark reminder of his failing health. He discards the evidence of his illness, tossing the handkerchief aside as he continues on. He finally reaches a specific apartment door at the end of a long, quiet hallway. Taking a breath, he raises his hand and knocks, hoping to find answers inside. The door is thrown open by a large, bandaged man who aggressively shoves him aside. Peeking from behind the door, he cautiously observes the intimidating and injured stranger. He steps into a cluttered office, the light from the doorway cutting through the gloom. He confidently asks for a Dr. Joe, his expression showing he's on a mission. A door creaks open from within the apartment, revealing someone inside. A weary-looking man in a lab coat appears, clearly annoyed by the interruption. The man's eyes narrow with suspicion, demanding to know who sent the unexpected visitor. Fang Linyan drops a name from a local garage, hinting he's there for illicit goods. The doctor gestures to the table, impatiently telling him to show the money first. He lights a cigarette, taking a moment to size up his new, mysterious client. The dealer lists his available stock of strange and potent substances, confirming his illicit trade. But Fang Linyan interrupts, requesting a specific and powerful combination of items in a large quantity. The dealer is stunned by the sheer audacity of Fang Linyan's request. He furiously warns that such a combination is a death sentence, not a recreational high. Fang Linyan calmly replies that a few years is far longer than he has left. He reveals his terminal diagnosis, explaining he's only seeking to ease his final days. The doctor falls silent, the shocking confession hanging in the air between them. After a moment of consideration, the dealer moves to retrieve the requested items. He returns with a bag, providing a potent pain reliever with a stern warning about the dosage. Fang Linyan places a large sum of cash on the table, ready to finalize the deal. The dealer impatiently waves him off, telling him to take his purchase and go. With his mission accomplished, Fang Linyan turns to leave, the door shutting behind him. Back in his room, he immediately takes one of the potent pills, hoping for some relief. He follows it with a dose from a powerful inhaler, a risky combination for his failing body. He hopes this dangerous cocktail will be enough to temporarily numb his debilitating symptoms. Sitting on his couch, he feels the potent substances begin to take hold, dulling his senses. With his physical pain temporarily managed, he turns his focus back to his primary objective. Staring at his laptop, he vows to reclaim the silver box from the powerful newcomer, no matter the cost. The mysterious message replays in his mind, a haunting reminder of the precise instructions for his one chance at survival. Meanwhile, the chaotic events at the wharf have sent shockwaves through the entire criminal underworld. In a secret meeting, a powerful organization discusses the stolen item, frustrated by their inability to identify the mysterious attacker. The identity of the powerful newcomer remains a complete mystery, leaving the organization powerless and on edge. Ironically, the very information a powerful organization seeks is sitting on Fang Linyan's desk. He studies the stolen files, learning the injection is a rare prototype that can't be mass-produced. The grim reality sinks in. The cure he's chasing is the only one of its kind in the world. A violent cough racks his body, a stark reminder of why this single dose is so critical. He turns his attention to his own phone, ready to analyze the events of the wharf. His focus narrows to a single target, the powerful newcomer known only as Fang. He meticulously profiles his adversary, noting his physical description and estimated age. He documents the newcomer's incredible abilities, from his monstrous strength to his tactical cunning. To better understand his foe, he prepares to review footage of the chaotic battle. He recalls the man's other skills, including his devastatingly fast and powerful long-range attacks. He deduces the newcomer's finger-throwing attack is a costly trump card, a limited-use spell. He concludes the newcomer has almost no weaknesses, making him an incredibly dangerous and well-rounded opponent. But as he reviews the footage, his sharp eyes catch a previously unnoticed detail. He spots a crucial weakness. The orc appears significantly weakened after reverting from his monstrous form. A smile spreads across his face as he realizes the orc's transformation has a time limit, giving him a potential opening. A new strategy begins to form. Perhaps a direct confrontation isn't the only way to win. He then shifts his focus to the evidence he collected, reviewing photos of the grim aftermath at the wharf. He confirms his decision to gather evidence was the right call, knowing these photos hold the key. He carefully examines every detail, from a strange mark on a victim to items left in a car. His investigation reveals a recurring symbol, a crucial clue that links everything together. He struggles to decipher the meaning behind the mysterious symbol he's uncovered. His eyes widen in shock as a sudden realization dawns on him. Stunned by the implication, he quickly returns to his keyboard to confirm his theory. His fingers fly across the keyboard, frantically searching for confirmation of his new theory. His gaze narrows, his mind racing as he processes the information on the screen. The search reveals a terminally ill tech CEO, and he triumphantly realizes this is the final piece of the puzzle. He stands with newfound purpose, offering a chilling apology to the man he now has to target. His eyes gleam with cold determination, his mind now set on a deadly new plan. The next phase of his plan unfolds at a grand, opulent hotel. Inside a suite at the Landsgarten Hotel, a grandfather clock ticks down the final minutes to an important appointment. The coveted silver briefcase rests on a table, its contents secured. A bottle of wine awaits a celebration, as a figure moves behind a nearby frosted door. The powerful newcomer, Fang, washes away the grime from the intense battle at the wharf. A confident smirk crosses his face as he notes his rapid recovery, ready to move on. Emerging from the shower in a fresh robe, he looks completely rejuvenated from the fight. He pours a celebratory glass of wine, his thoughts on future pleasures, but the doorbell chimes unexpectedly. The interruption clearly irritates him as he glances toward the door with a frown. Through the door, a voice announces routine room service, a seemingly normal interruption. But his expression snaps to high alert, instantly sensing the danger in the seemingly innocent call. A silent projectile bursts through the door's peephole, a deadly attack from an unseen assailant. He reacts just in time, narrowly avoiding a direct hit to the eye. He recoils in fury, clutching his face from the unexpected strike. Peering through his fingers, he furiously scans the room, demanding to know who dares to attack him. A hail of projectiles follows, forcing him to dive for cover as the wall is riddled with impacts. The door is blasted off its hinges, revealing a team of armed assailants storming the room. He takes refuge behind a wall, the plaster erupting around him from the relentless gunfire. The intruders scan the room, questioning where their target has gone, completely missing his hiding spot. A wicked grin spreads across his face as he reveals his own trump card, a strange device topped with a small effigy. With a flick of his wrist, he sends the strange object tumbling into the center of the room. It erupts in a blinding flash, engulfing the attackers who recoil in pain and terror. The hotel hallway is now silent, the room's door shattered from the assault. His cold gaze sweeps over the neutralized intruders on the floor. He stands victorious, mockingly insulted by the paltry number of assassins sent to take him down. But the victory is short-lived, as he realizes his location is no longer a secret. A flashback takes us to the Fayum oasis in Egypt, where the skeleton of a basilosaurus rests in the sand. The tech CEO, whom Fang Linyan identified, studies the fossil, noting its incredibly thick and enclosed bone structure. He speculates that this unique structure may have preserved viable gene fragments within the skull. A confident grin spreads across his face as he boasts of his company's futuristic technology. With arms outstretched, he reveals their mastery over cloning and cancer, needing only this final genetic fragment. He leans back in triumph, envisioning the successful resurrection of the ancient Basilosaurus. His celebration is cut short as a holographic assistant appears, announcing a critical Level 1 alert. The CEO is momentarily stunned into silence by the unexpected high-level warning. He angrily dismisses the interruption, reminding his assistant of the importance of their current genetic extraction. She reports the alert is about the stolen injection, revealing they've located the thief and are requesting authorization for extreme measures. The proposed target location is Tai City, a bustling metropolis with a population of 27 million. A subordinate objects, horrified at the idea of deploying a dangerous bioweapon in such a dense urban area. The CEO calmly overrules his subordinates' frantic protests, giving the final command to proceed. The subordinate's dissent is silenced in a swift and brutal display of authority. The CEO coldly dismisses the incident as clearing redundant data and orders his team to resume their work. The holographic assistant confirms the secondary authorization is complete, and the bioweapon deployment is now active. Deep within a secret facility, rows of bioengineered soldiers are awakened within their glowing pods. With authorization confirmed, the deployment sequence begins, catching an unsuspecting technician by surprise. Elsewhere, the smirking man gets dressed, unaware of the chaos about to be unleashed. He confidently adjusts his hat, believing he is fully prepared for the night ahead. But as he steps into the corridor, his expression shifts, sensing an unnatural presence. He spots a trio of figures shambling down the dimly lit hallway, moving with an eerie gait. A closer look reveals their decaying appearance, and he begins to understand the nature of the threat. The horrifying truth dawns on him as he realizes he's facing a horde of zombies. Unfazed, he grins and transforms into his orc form, ready to tear through the undead.